steam.cmd. So now that we're there, what we want to do is we want to get the install files. To do that, you're going to use this command.
Okay.
So I will rename it. Use the mv command to do that, to rename. Okay, so that's right. Now, importantly, we're going to need this. We're going to need the full path to csgo ds. So if I change directory into csgo ds and I do print working directory, I get the full path. So I'm going to copy this because I'll need to paste it later. Okay. So now let's go back again. Now we're at the steam.cmd directory, where if you look at the files, here's steam.cmd.sh. That's the file you're going to run to do all of your setup. So we'll do steam.cmd.sh. Okay, steam.cmd updated. Now it's ready to go. So from this point, what you have to do is you actually have to log in. If I try to install CSGO right now, it's going to tell me I'm not logged in. So what you do is log in, anonymous. You don't actually need to log in with an actual user account. If you do need one, you can set up another free account. You don't actually have to own the game. So log in anonymous. Boom, we're logged in. Now at this point, before you install the actual game files or the server files, you have to tell it where to. So force install dir, and then I'm going to right click and paste rather than trying to memorize it. It's right there. That's where we're installing everything. Now steam.cmd knows where to install the Counter-Strike Go DS files. Now that I've logged in and told the steam.cmd program where to install, I'm going to app update 740 validate. App update will either install or update the application with this application ID 740, and 740 is the application ID for Counter-Strike Go, and then validate the install files. And here we go. This will take a few minutes, so I'll probably be fast forwarding through this. We'll just go ahead and quit. Just kind of get ourselves reoriented. We're in the steam.cmd directory. We need to change directories to the game server files. CSGO DS. Alright. And again, just another important thing, if for whatever reason srcds run or any of these other files, except for the exe, you won't be using that since you're in Linux. If any of these are not set with the executable bit, then they will not run. So it's worth doing ls-la if they're not running, because it's a simple fix. Change mod plus x. So that's how you would fix it. In this case, the executable bit is already set, and they will execute without problems. So at this point, pretty much everything's completely ready to go. There's not a whole lot needed to get running. Can go ahead and launch the server pretty easily. srcds run, and plus there's a series of commands that come after that, to be honest, I have saved elsewhere. So let me go ahead and find that for you. Should be my history, actually. So history, right here. There we go. So I can copy and paste it, or I could do 52, and it comes back up. Automatically ran for me. That wasn't my intention. Alright, so I'll quit out of there. But I copied and pasted it. Okay, so here's what's happening here. srcds run is the actual script that launches the application. The ./ in front just means that you're looking for an application inside of the current working directory. You either have to have that, or you have to spell out the entire working directory in front of srcds run in order to run it. So this is the shorthand that you're going to see for a lot of SRCD or a lot of Linux applications that are run. ./ and then the name of the script. And the rest of this, these are kind of the basics, the basic options that you add on or provide to the srcds run script. This just tells you the game CSGO. It's going to enable the console, game type 0, game mode 1. Basically, just tells us that we're going to use the competitive classic mode. We specified the map group from which to draw the maps and the default map to start out on. If I were to run this, it's going to launch, and everything should work exactly as we had expected. If I type in status, just like you would in your game console, you'll see that we are on map DE dust 2. As you would expect, there's 0 humans, 0 bots, 10-person max like you would expect on a competitive mode. Here's the IP address along with the port. There you go. That is the basics to get things running. Now, just one last little useful bit of information, because it's a little bit of a pain in the butt to type this in every time, and you're not going to want to do it. You'll probably want to create a script. What is a script? If I were to show you the contents of srcds run, oops, don't need to do that. This is an example of a script. Okay, this is a more advanced script. You're not going to be doing anything like this, but we will make a very simple script. First, let's create a file called easyrun.sh. If you see, there's easyrun.sh. Alright, now let's edit easyrun.sh. Actually, before I do that, let me copy and paste this whole thing because I'm going to be reusing this. So I'm going to copy. Okay, I'm going to have to paste that later. So we can edit easyrun.sh. The easiest way to do it would be to use Nano. It's an easy to use text editor. So nano easyrun.sh, open it up. You'll paste that in there. And in the future, when you run it, it's going to automatically execute this code. So in order to make sure this happens reliably, you have to include what's called the shebang. Okay, this is the shebang that tells the script to be calling the bash shell, which is kind of like a, I don't know, it's how the user interacts with the command line. There's a few other shells that are similar to it, but bash is the most common one. Again, the stuff I was doing, all that ls, cd, pwd, all those things are part of the bash programs that are invoked by the bash shell. And then there's a few other features. It kind of works almost like a little mini programming language, and you start to, and it is a little mini programming language once you start to learn some of the more advanced features. But anyway, long story short, this is the shebang you need to include at the top of the file. So after you put in the shebang, you can add this, meaning that you can modify this as you see fit, add your archon information, add your port, all these other things which we'll get into later, and you never have to type this in again. So let's write it out, Control O. Let's go ahead and save the file name, easyrun.sh. Now we can exit, Control X. Alright, now again, if I try to easy run, it says permission denied. It doesn't want me to do that. If you remember correctly, we talked about adding the executable bit. Now if I look, easy run is now green. And it'll load automatically. It's a very simple script. If you see, again, DE dust defaults to port 27015, which by chance you will have to both open the firewall locally on the computer and on your firewall or your router of your router. but that's a different tutorial. Okay. There you go. So that's the basics, getting everything running, including creating a nice little simple script to launch your server